Dr. Rivas, this is my final report for my class. It's, uh, it's titled Online Voting in America. I had my concern was because we're in the day and age of computers, why hasn't the United States implemented online voting for its citizens? My report goes into the history of online voting and some of the attempts that have been made by other countries to allow online voting for their citizens. Even America has at one time decided that they were going to try online voting with their soldiers stationed in foreign countries instead of having them using absentee ballots. But at the last minute, they decided against online voting, saying that the security risk was too high. So they went back to absentee ballots. And since then, there has been no other attempts to allow online voting in America. One of the concerns, the major concern that they have is security. And I can understand the security risk because in this day and age of cyber warfare and cyber terrorism, every country must be cautious of allowing internet voting because countries like North Korea, China, and Russia are at the forefront of cyber terrorism, and they could want nothing more than to decide the election in America by hacking into computers and changing votes that a person may have thought they voted for one candidate and end up voting for another. I feel that there should be a way that the smartest country in the world could come up with a way to block cyber terrorism and block other countries from interrupting the voting process. If we had online voting, this will allow more people to participate in the voting process, especially young adults that normally don't go to the polls. Another concern is, what about people that don't have computers? How would they get to vote? And I think to solve that problem would be easy by setting up computers all over in every library in every city where people can go in and cast their ballots on a computer at a secure internet connection at their local libraries. This would allow everybody that has access or everybody that's registered to vote could vote. We would no longer be the country with only 28 or 30% of the electorate electing the president of the United States. It reminds me of the people standing in line in South Africa after apartheid ended to vote, and they stood in line for days to cast their ballots. And in America, we are an impatient people. So if we have to stand in line 3 or 4 hours, we become very impatient and don't want to do it. So online voting would solve those problems. It would be less expensive than setting up polling places. It would take less time. The West Coast and East Coast could cast their ballots at the same time. As you know, most of the time, the East Coast votes and the major television media outlets has already called the election before the polls close on the West Coast, which means a lot of people will stay at home on the West Coast because they feel they don't have a reason to go out to the polls if the election has already been called. Online voting would allow everyone to vote at the same time. All the ballots would be counted. We won't have to worry about what happened in Florida when President Bush was elected with the hanging chads and the paper ballots. We wouldn't have to worry about those problems. So online voting, I feel, is not far off. It's right around the corner. I think they're working on it, and soon we will find a solution to the security issue. That is my final report. Hope you have a great day.